Crossed my brain many times in the past several years, if I'm being completely honest. And that thought is, should I have stayed down low? Should I have not been openly gay? Should I have just played the game? Should I have just found a woman, got married, and been this ideal black man? And while I love who I am, and it has taken a lot of work to say that out loud and to truly believe that, I would be lying if I never thought about an alternative or a different situation in which I was a heterosexual man, or at least played a heterosexual man. Now, I'm not a person, when I even use the term DL, I'm not talking about toxic DL, where you intentionally mess with men on the side and you got a wife, kids, all this kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that type of DL. I'm just talking about a DL where you make a decision that I'm going to live this life despite these other feelings, and I'm never going to share publicly or openly these other feelings. There was many times in my past that I wanted that to be the truth for me. There was times that I actually was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And now that I'm saying this out loud, this is just real and vulnerable. I think a lot of guys maybe have that idea that, okay, I know what I feel, but I know what's profitable and what's acceptable in my community, my family, my group, social groups. So I'm going to do this. And yet and still they end up being, I guess, the toxic DL. So I don't know how that will work. And I might have been one of those people too if I played that game. So this is why I'm just like, well, let me tell you why these thoughts even have come to me. It's because I know that if I would have played the game of a heterosexual black man with my charisma, with my charm, with everything that I have going on, even currently, that if I would have played the game of having this perfect family, wife, beautiful wife, good job, stayed in the military, like, I know for a fact that I would be so much further along than where I am. I know for a fact I would have more money, I would have more success, I would have more notoriety, I would have all of those things. I would literally bet my life on that I would have those things. But because I decided to be open, to be honest, I have to deal with the consequences of such in this type of society. Now, I believe that as of 2025, there has been a lot of progress around gay people, the stigma, the prejudice, the acceptance, the openness, all of that has changed drastically in the last 20 years. And then if you go back even further, it's changed even more so than that. And I think it's due in part to so many variables. One being, internet, social media, we're more connected. We see more, we're exposed to more. More people are honest about who they are. So although there has been significant progress, I just believe that I'll be further along if I would have played the game. And so I know that being open and being true has privileges. It also has consequences. The privileges that I experience is that I don't have to hide in any room that I am in. Because if I'm in that room and you've invited me into that room, you know who I am, you know what I stand for, you know who I love, you know all those details because I've been upfront with you. So in that room, I don't have to talk in code, I don't have to be a certain way. I can show up in that room fully present and comfortable. That's a benefit for me. I don't have to, I don't have to say, my partner is my roommate. I don't have to live these double lives, which is exhausting. So I don't know how people do it in the first place, but I don't have to, have these alternate lives that I bounce in between at church and at this place and at this place. I don't have to lie about friends. I don't have to lie about any of that. I get the privilege of showing up front, totally who I am. That is a plus. I'm liberated. But a consequence, because it's pros and cons, a consequence of this is literally I have had opportunities not given to me because of that. I've had opportunities not given to me because of that. And I get it. I get it. Especially when you start like the things that I talk about, my background, like most people, church, that's why I learned to speak, that's, I'm very connected to my spirituality. I'm very connected to mindset. And so, I would have been a regular traveling preacher or minister or lecturer in all circuits, spiritual, professional, like I would have been in all of them, but not so. And I also know that certain people will never publicly endorse me, publicly recommend me, not because they feel a certain way about me or my lifestyle. They like me, or at least that's what's communicated. It's the whole political thing of, man, I just, we can't, I can't put you up in front of the people because of this, because of that, it's almost like I'm a drug dealer. Mind you, I know of people that are habitual cheaters on their spouses, their wives, don't pay child support, sleeping with every woman in the church. Baby, they are booked and busy, traveling, preaching, teaching, followings, what I'm saying? All the things. And it's like, damn. That's what it's literally like. You like, where is the moral compass at now? And so sometimes I'll just be like, yeah, I'm grateful for what I have achieved in life, but it has not come without great sacrifice. And I know everybody has to sacrifice something, right? I'm not saying gay people are the only people, or openly gay people are the only people that have to sacrifice something, but it's a difference when you have to contend with people rejecting you just because of who you love. That's a different thing. That like most people really don't deal with that level of fear of rejection as gay people. Or let me say openly gay people. To be open and to be honest, it takes extremely strong people. Gay people, openly gay people, whether you agree or not, I'm just going to give you the facts, are extremely strong individuals, are extremely resilient individuals, because they've had to war with the idea of people walking out of their lives simply because of their existence. They've had to war with that internally in order to be free. So I think it's so unfair that I can literally be side by side with somebody that I am more qualified than, and I still don't get the opportunity because I'm gay. Now, mind you, this ain't no shade towards nobody, because everybody got their different stories. People within my network that I know, like, you gay? Like, I know you are. We talking about it. You know what I'm saying? You on my line asking me for advice. You on my line, like, but they are sitting on the platforms because they're not open. But they're doing the do. They are doing the do. And like I said, it ain't no shade towards any individual, because everybody has their own journey. I had my journey. They got their journey. Everybody got their own journey. But it still doesn't take away from how unfair it is. And it's nothing against them either, because they don't necessarily call the shots. But I do believe ultimately it's a part of the problem, that as long as people hide who they are, it makes it harder for overall acceptance and equality amongst gay people. And I can only imagine, well, it still is, I can only imagine what our forefathers 30 and 40 years ago went through, and 30 and 40 years before that went through the same type of inequality, because of something that is like color of your skin. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. So sometimes I think about it. As much as I love my open, my free, and I also say this, coming out was hard. I had to have some difficult conversations with a lot of individuals, but I will say my family and friends, that was a little, I think it's natural, but it was a little like, oh, how do we move with this? But people who truly love you, they figure out how to love you despite differences. And then they come to find like, oh, okay, this is what I thought, but you teaching me something else. You're teaching me a different narrative. See, I didn't know anybody gay close up. I didn't have a family member. You know what I'm saying? Like, so your openness has the ability to teach too. So, I've had to teach people how to love me. All of me. Not the parts that I've masked and the parts that I pretend to be, but all of me. All of me. All of me. But yeah, so it's just interesting, man. It's interesting because life would be so different for me, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't play that game. I couldn't. I could not play that game. My soul would not have been at peace. There would have been such tension in my soul. And I think that a lot of people who are DL have a lot of tension in their soul. They have a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, a lot of this, a lot of that. And listen, that stuff will kill you. Them secrets will kill you, man. And especially too, like, I was looking at something on YouTube that came across my feed. I was talking about this guy. I guess he was messing with this girl and she found out he was DL. and maybe that's why this conversation is kind of fresh on my mind, but she found out he was DL, and he came and took her out because she told people. But it's like that secret, and then when the cops came to find him, he took himself out, or maybe they took him out. It's undisclosed, but it's like a secret that you're willing to lose your life over. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's really crazy. And so I just, like I said, everybody's different. Everybody got their own journeys. Everybody got their own thing that they got to contend with, that they got to deal with. But, sometimes when you are a trailblazer, or you are a person that is willing to put yourself out there and be the first and challenge the norms, you got to deal with the backlash. You got to deal with the consequences. And a part of my journey is not all peaches and roses. I think I am a light to those who are in the same journey as I am, and people do look to me like, wow, I love your life. I love what you stand for. I love your transparency. But here is the other side of that. The other side of that is, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you are on your journey, this is a part of that. Yeah, you get the liberation, you get the freedom, you get to be yourself. And I think that outweighs any cons at the end of the day. Let me be clear. But, it outweighs any cons at the end of the day. But the cons are still the cons. You might be overlooked for that opportunity. You might be overlooked for a promotion, for a recommendation. You might be overlooked because people don't understand you, or people don't want to associate with you. You like that's a real thing that you have to be prepared for. You your resume might be better than the guy down the aisle from you, but because he is heterosexual, or because he is DL, whatever the case may be, he's more relatable to those who make the decision, or maybe those who are in charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a lot of political factors at play. I remember I was told one time, like, I think I was doing something. I can't remember what I was doing. It was like something, I was hosting events and this and that. And I know exactly what it was now. It was, I have a friend that does a lot of things in Memphis, and he had brought me down for a gay pride event that they were hosting. And this was before I really was open, really was honest, and really like actually came out. And he had me down for the event. And of course I didn't promote it, like not on my socials, because they got the flag and everything on there at the time. And I'm just like, I'm gonna go, but I ain't gonna tell nobody where I'm at. And I remember when I started hosting my live events that I was doing, he hit me up, was like, I got a proposition for you. And he was just like, so I want us to collaborate. You bring your academy here, and I want you to teach. And, it's going to be like a joint deal. And, we'll host you this and that. And I remember I was talking to the church that I was attending at the time, to leadership, and it was like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I was just like, so what I'm being told is I can't go and share, because at this point I'm getting more liberated, but it's like, I can't go and share with people who I resonate with the most, because I have to protect this brand of whatever, heterosexuality or heterosexualness. I had to protect that. And so I was told, like, no, you can't go, because that's gonna mess up your brand. And it just didn't sit well with me, because I'm like, these people, I am one of those, like, we the same. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a con. But At the end of the day, I am me, I am free, and ultimately, I made the best decision for me to live free. And ultimately, like, people, when you meet me, you get to determine if you're going to rock with me or not. Because I'm going to present all in front of you. So that way, I know if you stay, and if I stay with you, because it's not, I don't want to create this notion like gay people have to always look for acceptance. No. I'm going to choose to rock with you, and you're going to choose to rock with me. And then we going to be a rocking chair. Like, we going to choose each other. But you don't have to worry about me showing up in present day and being something that I'm not. And I'll add this. Sometimes I'm still a little like that little kid that's unsure, shows up from time to time. But I know that I always must lead with my truth. That doesn't mean that I enter a room and say, hello, everybody, I'm gay. I don't do that. kind of funny, but I don't do that. But if we get in conversation and you say, well, tell me about your wife, and I see you got a ring on, and tell me about you, I'm gonna be like, well, my husband or my partner, I'm gonna correct you, but I'm not gonna, I'm not that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, because I don't think that's necessary. But I am going to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to, and like I said, I will have in the back of my mind, like, I'm looking at you now, like, are you going to move different? Are you going to move funny? Like, let me know what we on so I can adjust too. Cause I spent a majority of my life crafting myself in order to be embraced. So it feels good to be in my 30s and free. Because in my mid to late 20s and beyond and before that, I wasn't free. I was crafting and trying to fit boxes and molds and who should I be and identities and this and that. I am who I am now. Anyway, that's all I got, y'all. I'm about to go grab my coffee. Just got done with my workout. And yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into conversations that, like this, like I love sharing stuff like this. It's kind of different for me brand wise, but I said with my YouTube, I don't want to box myself in. Like, I don't have to come on all the time with personal development. Okay, here's 5 ways. Like, that's okay. We could talk about that, right? We talk about that every single Monday. I'm gonna give you 5 ways, but this is my place for my pure raw thoughts. And yeah, like I want to share that part of me, not the refined part of me, not even the part of me that has a solution to every problem. Like, let's talk about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Weigh in. Like this video because it definitely helps me to grow on this YouTube channel, and I appreciate it. When I say I'm enjoying this journey, I'm enjoying this journey. I feel like I am rediscovering myself while sharing different parts of my life and my being and my existence. And I think it's in divine timing. Like, things are working out as they should. Divine timing. Because the other day I was like, man, am I too late for this YouTube thing? Just kind of, when you come in, you're like, man, I got a video here that I did 15 years ago. I remember to this day recording that video. YouTube was very new. I was like, I should have stayed on it. But all things in divine timing. So even now, divine timing. So I'm grateful, subscribe, lock in. Let me know what you think about this video. Of course, we got some major things that we're working on for 2026. The 6 a.m. accountability group is coming back. You know what I'm saying? We're coming back. My Monday mindset meetup over Zoom. We coming back strong. So all of that information is in the comments. I got some other stuff I'm working on too. My networking events here in Atlanta. It's more of a curated dinner. We coming back with that. 2025 for me was a rough year. I ain't gonna lie, it was rough. But got some things coming, man. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited about what's next. And I have not been excited in a long time. So I feel good about this. Anyway, to the next one. Peace.